بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين. Dear brothers and sisters, Salamun alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is most likely the last session I shall be giving. We've started the supplication for parents or on parents, and naturally we won't finish it because it's a rather lengthy one. I just want to thank Heidarioon, the brothers and sisters from the group Heidarioon group in Manchester, for giving me this opportunity to share this platform with you, dear brothers and sisters. Thank you very much. Okay. Then the Imam, in this, continuing from the supplication, says, Allahumma ja'alni ahabuhuma haybat as-sultan al-asuf. O Allah, assign me with awe, A-W-E. Assign me with awe in relation to them, my parents. Now, then he says, the awe, like the awe one has before a tyrannical leader, a tyrannical sovereign. Assign me with this awe before my parents. Now this is, the Imam now wants to teach us how to deal with our parents. This is becoming very practical now. And they say when they're addressing you, or when you go in their presence addressing them, here see them as a tyrannical sovereign in the sense of the awe. No, sorry, you don't see them as a tyrannical sovereign, but the awe you experience should be like the awe that you would experience before a tyrannical sovereign. So that kind of fear, that the mightiness of your parents. And here, scholars who were active, may Allah bless them and enlighten their soul, in relation to this particular tariqah, they went into details here. And they would say things like, when you're being addressed by your parents, don't look into their eyes. Lower your gaze, lower your head. Don't look into their eyes. This was an example of that awe of a tyrannical sovereign. And here, although one has to mention that when you're being addressed by them, don't look into their eyes. Otherwise, in other scenarios, looking at your parents is a form of ibadah, worship. Okay? Parents in Arabic comes from the root word walada, which is a form of generating, because they procreate us. They've kind of generated us. The genetic parents, the biological parents. Looking at these biological parents is a form of ibadah. But النَّظَرُ إِلَى وَجْهِ عَلِي إِبَادَةٌ. Seeing the countenance of Amirul Mu'mineen is a form of ibadah also. Seeing the countenance of the 12th Imam, His Holiness, is a form of ibadah. And that's why the esoteric mother or esoteric father, esoteric, is the 12th Imam today. And our creation is, Allah creates us moment to moment, is through the 12th Imam, the Imam of the time, the 12th successor to the Holy Messenger. And therefore the 12th Imam is also our walid. Is also a generator, is generating us in a different manner. Otherwise, our creation persists through the creation of the 12th Imam. Allah creates us. And that's why if there's no 12th Imam, it's going to cause, havoc لَسَاخَتِ الْأَرْض بِتَمَامِهَا. The earth would crumble, and so on and so forth. Although that requires more discussion. So here, what is it that when you look at your parents is an ibadah? Okay? And this leads you then to your inner imam, your spiritual father, which is the 12th imam. And your spiritual father is a complete manifestation of Allah's attributes. So that would then make you recall Allah. So look, from parents, your walidain, how it's connected to recalling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَنْ لَا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. That's the connection. One can speak much more, but I don't want to extend too much. And there's one story from Allama Tehrani where one of his students speaks of a sister from Austria who was a Christian, but the way the student was explaining how this sister would treat her parents, Allama Tehrani said, she is one of us, Shias. There's a lot. It's a very big statement, this. It's very difficult to digest. But it stems from this fact that through one's parents one reaches salvation. To be one of the Shias of Amirul Mu'mineen, you have to follow his ethical traits. Okay. And then the Imam says, وَأَبَرُّهُمَا بِرَّ الْأُمِّ الرَّؤُوفِ. And let me be devoted to them, my parents, like the devotion of a compassionate mother. Oh, look. These are all practical protocols. Me personally, I failed in this regard. And maybe if I had known, if someone had taught me this, when I used to live abroad, outside Iran, in Manchester, if they were to tell me this, maybe I would never have made the move to Qom. It's very likely. Because moving to Qom, you're losing out here a lot by being distanced from your parents. Now, can you compensate that through being a scholar or not? Being a scholar, it's not a joke. Here, let me be devoted to my parents like how a compassionate mother is devoted to her child. Now, look what does a compassionate mother do? Never lets go of their child. Is always attentive to their child. Never leaves the child alone. Sacrifices herself for the child's nurturing. This is what we have to do to our parents. And in the traditions it speaks of, don't let your parents ask something from you. You do it before they ask you, like a compassionate mother. Don't leave your parents alone. During this COVID period, no one is saying, be very proximate to your parents. You have to observe precaution, but visit them every day. But keep the precaution also. But just seeing them once a week when you live in the same city, this is problematic. Would a compassionate mother do that to their child? These are all not duties of the Sharia, these are duties of the Tariqah. That's why we have those who are students of the Tariqah. They always want to live, after they marry, close to their parents. There's one example of a sister who only lives 150 meters from her father. And then what she would do is, because the father may forget his medication, she would fill a glass of water from home with the medication herself, and then walk with the glass of water in her hand, walk to the house. It's a 150-meter walk only. Walk to the house, knock on the door, give the father the medication, and then go back. That's a compassionate mother. Now, being a compassionate mother to parents, it depends on the age of the parents and so on and so forth. Compassion is a function of that and other parameters, okay? But we really have to think twice here. Without a doubt, modernity is breaking the veils of such a compassionate protocol. So here, act like a compassionate mother. That's the protocol. And it's the more you act as a compassionate mother, the better. Also, don't question your parents. The compassionate mother, sometimes the child does many things. The child is only 2, 3, 4, 5 years of age. They may do many things which are, in quotes, devilish. But the mother doesn't question the child. She continues nurturing the child. She doesn't raise her voice over the child. She forgives the child. She turns the blind eye with the child. You too with your parents, especially when they age. They may do many things which may not be appropriate, but you have to be a compassionate mother. You see, this protocol is given for the parents, but it's not given to one's spouse, to one's husband or wife. The protocol there is different. We're focusing on parents right now. This is important. And then, since this is the last session, let me quickly go through the succeeding phrases. وَاجْعَلْ طَاعَتِي لِوَالِدَيَّ, and assign my devotion for my parents, and assign وَبِرِّي بِهِمَا, my devotion. Assign my obedience to my parents, and assign my devotion to them. أَقَرَّ لِعَيْنِي مِنْ رَقْدَةِ الْوَسْنَانِ. Assign this obedience and devotion to be more gladdening to my eyes than how sleep is gladdening to the drowsy. We want this within ourselves in relation to our parents. This is what we ask from Allah. وَأَثْلَجَ لِصَدْرِي مِنْ شَرْبَةِ الظَّمْآنِ, and to be more refreshing, my obedience and my devotion to be more refreshing for my breast than how a drink is refreshing for someone who's thirsty. Hatta, so that, I want these, so that أُوثِرَ عَلَى هَوَايَ هَوَاهُمَا, so that I prefer their inclinations to my own inclinations. Because it's so gladdening and refreshing to devote myself to them and obey them, the result is this. I give a preference to their inclinations, what they want from me, rather than my own preferred inclinations. Look, this is eliminating one's ego. Through obeying and devoting yourself to your parents, the ego is being eliminated. وَأُقَدِّمَ عَلَى رِضَايَ رِضَاهُمَا, and so that I give or grant priority to their satisfaction over that which I am satisfied with. You're giving priority to them. And then the verse continues. So giving priority to their satisfaction, giving preference to their inclinations rather than your own satisfaction and inclinations respectively, this is something we want from Allah. This eliminates our ego, and once the ego is eliminated, Allah's attributes manifest upon your heart. You become a true Khalifatullah. And this is why this tariqah is important. Now, I hope you don't become pessimistic with this tariqah. As I say, first of all, don't worry, I'm not an abider in relation to it. We all fail. But what we can do in relation to the tariqah is to grow stronger and stronger, better and better, slowly but surely over time. But that which we shouldn't do is suffice with the Sharia. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين.